You're listening to the Ordinary Joe's Podcast with Joe D and Eric B. Ordinary Joe's Podcast.
All right. Different type of show today. I got two instead of one Ordinary Joe. Joe's taking a little back seat for the next couple weeks or months. So what I did was I reached out to his buddies from New York. If you guys are watching, I got Ro down there. I got Ev in the nice, what is that, a floral shirt? Is that a Hawaiian shirt?
It's loud. Whatever it is, it's loud.
I like it. It's definitely,
Thank you.
It's definitely a dad shirt on this Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same type of podcast that we normally do, but this time we got Joe's backups or Joe's friends from New York, the one that Joe's always talking about on the Ordinary Joes. So we're going to get this started. I am Eric B.
And I'm Evan P. And
I'm Rose C. And this is
the Ordinary Joes.
Totally botched that. I'm supposed to say we are the Ordinary Joes.
Consistent, at least consistent.
For you guys who don't watch or don't listen to Joe or do anything like that, this is the guys from the Woken Up Woke show. So this is kind of like a crossover between the Ordinary Joes and the Woken Up Woke. So you'll be listening to this on the Ordinary Joes, and they're going to upload it on their podcast as well, on the Woken Up Woke podcast. So for you guys who are like, who's these Woken Up Woke guys that Joe is always talking about? Here they are, both from New York, and we got a lot to dive in today. So Ro, go ahead. What do we want to talk about today?
Well, there's so many things going on right now, guys. First of all, again, happy Father's Day to the pod. Evan, again, what is up with that shirt? I'm assuming that came out of the box that one of your kids gave you?
It's a Father's Day gift, and it's loud, and it's, but the floral print shirts I think are making a comeback, and they knew I was fond of them, so I don't know if it was a joke or if they really thought that I would really love it, which I really do love it, and I'm wearing it here on the show.
I like it. If you told me, I would have put on a floral shirt too. I
should have sent a memo.
But you know what? It's better that you did it because you stand out. So thank you for. Let's give him a round of applause for wearing a floral shirt.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
A couple of topics today. Definitely want to hear from the dads on the pod. What is your worst gift you've ever gotten from the family and your favorite gift? And then we're going to go into some basketball that was like, woo! I mean, I don't care what anybody says. This is one of the best playoffs I've seen in a long time, minus injuries. So I'd love to dive into that with the group.
Sounds good.
Then during COVID, everybody's kind of loosening up a little bit, at least in the States. And I would love to see if anybody has any big plans for traveling this summer, or ideally where you want to go. And then just have some fun, loosen up.
All right. Who wants to start it off? I'm good with whatever we talk about. Let's go, guys.
Well, I guess I'll start with the gifts, since I'm wearing mine, and I'm not a big, it just hit me. I didn't even wish my dad a happy Father's Day.
Uh-oh.
He's actually here in the backyard. We did a little barbecue, and so I kind of want to bring this up because I saw a meme, and it was basically Mother's Day's restaurants are sold out. Father's Day, we're back there grilling, sweating and working. So is that a fair assessment? Is that fair for the fathers, or me personally? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed grilling, wearing my gift, and being out there with the family. So, it's a plus for me. I don't know about you guys. Do fathers get a bad shake?
I'm gonna one up you on that. I saw that same meme, but someone said moms gets roses and chocolate and a nice fancy dinner at a restaurant, where us dads, we get a 6-pack of beer, an uncooked ribs that we have to go cook ourselves. So it's like, I don't know. Do we get the bad rap as his dad gets the, do we not get the fun part of it?
We have to put in work, So,
well, he was on a group chat I won't say his name, but he was in a group chat this morning, and I wished the guys in my group chat a happy Father's Day. I'm the only guy without any kids. And I live vicariously for 2 minutes through their posts of what they got. And I am so glad I'm not a father. My cousin got a, what is that called? The one you sit on when you poop? The chair little stand.
Toilet?
What is that? Porta potty? I don't know, whatever that thing is. Put your feet up on.
Oh, yeah.
To help you poop.
Yes.
Whatever it is.
Got one of those, and he got a weed whacker, and I was like, wow, that's so many things that I just don't want. Responsibilities.
Well, could you imagine like Mother's Day, and then you get your wife or your mother, like an apron or a frying pan, like the backlash you would receive. So I don't.
Yeah.
Putting out
50 years ago,
devil's advocate.
But again, it's like, if you're, us dads, right? What if your kids made reservations for us to go somewhere? There's like, hey, what does dad like to eat? We like to eat the steak. We like to eat meat. Wherever there's meat, we're there. Steakhouse, burger place. Where mom's is a little more on the fancy side, so they want a little bit more of the, the little 3-course, got to dress up a little bit, put a little, this and that into it. I don't know, man. It is kind of like a double standard when it comes to Mother's Day, Father's Day kind of thing.
Yes.
Well, you guys tell me, what was your best Father's Day experience since you've had children? What's your best Father's Day experience? And what was your worst one?
I would just say having the kids born was like the first Father's Day when you first have your kids and you're like, wow, I actually have a kid. I can actually enjoy Father's Day with this. I would say once they start walking, 13, 14, years old, and they start talking back to you, it's kind of like, oh yeah, forgot Happy Father's Day, Dad.
Yes, that's exactly what I got.
Yeah.
My kids, I am officially the father of 2 teenagers, and yeah, it was exactly, oh yeah, Dad, Happy Father's Day. And I was like, wow. Where I used to get cards made out of construction paper and, crudely drawn figures on these, but it meant something because it was from the heart. And like I have all mine from, I think, every Father's Day going back. Anything that they made me, I still have, like, on a dresser all together somewhere at my job in my office, but I still have those. And yeah, so all of those mean a lot to me. Today was, I think, the first one where it was just, oh yeah, what's up, Dad? Yeah, happy whatever. Yeah. Just like that. That's how I got it.
Happy Father's Day. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Happy Father's Day. We took my kids out to a theme park here in California in the Bay Area, right by Levi Stadium where the 49ers play. It's called Great America, right? We took them out there yesterday. Enjoyed. They had fun. They rode the rides. I rode the rides with them. And they're like, oh, man, that was kind of cool that we did this. We should have done this tomorrow. And I was like, well, tomorrow's Father's Day. So it's kind of like, I don't want to be here on Father's Day. And they were like, oh, it is Father's Day tomorrow, huh? I'm like, Jesus.
See?
You guys remember Mother's Day, but when it comes to Father's Day, you're like, oh yeah, it is.
Why do fathers get such a bad rap? Let's dissect that. Why don't we get the same love that the moms?
Maybe because I don't know, because they think we're men and we're supposed to be tough and not cry and not have emotions. When deep down, we're crying on the inside. Those things hurt.
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, it's like, the, oh yeah, Happy Father's Day. It's like, man, Jesus, God, I remember your birthdays and I go out all out on Christmas. I only get 2 days. I get birthday and Father's Day. I get nothing for Christmas. By the time Christmas comes, we can't afford anything anymore because I'm spending it all on them.
I already spent it all. That is right. But my birthday is close to Father's Day, so they don't even wrap it all in one. I thought I'll take the 2 for 1.
Yeah.
I get forget both. Oh yeah, and then I get the smart comments. We 75 today.
We got you a shirt that.
That's what you say.
Exactly. I may be 75, but I can still kick your ass. And watch me. I would think the reason why we get bad raps is, to go off what Ev said, we are supposed to be that tough, dad figure. Like, when it's like we're scolding our kids, what does the moms always say? Wait for your dad to come home, right? Wait for your dad to come home. So we kind of build that image for ourselves, like, and And, when the kids are in trouble, what do they go to? They go to moms, Well, mom's going to take care of them. Mom's going to love them. But we're, on the other end, we're going to be more the angry father, the dad that's like, no, you can't do this, and no, you can't do that. So I don't know. That could be one reason why we get bad reps. I mean, I would also say...
I got something else to go along with that. Is Father's Day, Mother's Day a real holiday? Is it something that should be celebrated? Because we always make up, the Hallmark holiday.
Yeah,
it's something that was invented to drum up sales for cards or whatever. So me personally, I do think there should be where we stop and, remember maybe some kind of observance, but, honestly, every day is Mother's Day or Father's Day. If you're doing it right.
I agree with you, man. I mean, anything with a day, Valentine's, Father's Day, Mother's Day, grandparent, anything that has the day in it other than birthday shouldn't be recognized. I mean, it's like, Father's Day, if you give your father love 24/7, 375 days a year, that's enough, right? Same thing with like Mother's Day. If you show your wife, your baby mama love 365 days a year, whatever, there shouldn't be that. And Valentine's Day is, to me, that kills me the most. It's like, it's like you got that one day out of the year where the roses are like $90 for, a stack of $30 roses that they're going to do that day for $90. It's like, really?
Bro, imagine being single on Valentine's Day and then trying to court somebody. You got to find like
Pressure.
5 roses.
Yeah.
I actually went on a date on Valentine's Day one time. That was actually one of the best days I've had.
Wow. Okay. How'd that go?
Why is that? Why is that?
No pressure whatsoever. And everybody was like romancing and stuff like that. And we just had a great time and just chilled. So, I get it, the days and responsibilities, but there's a reminder, right? I think sometimes we get caught up in everything like family and work and all this stuff. So, as a society, we just need that reminder like, hey, take a minute and just acknowledge that person in your life and let them know you care about what they do. And here you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good point. But I will say, don't you notice that now they pretty much every day of the year is some kind of day? I don't know when this started. I don't know if it started with COVID, but they'll be like, today's banana day. Like, what? What are you talking about? Like
Donut Day, National Pet.
National
Pet Day. I had a dog one time, but he left me day. Like, there's so many days.
You know what? I'm gonna start a new one, and then I'm gonna pick a date, and we're gonna call it National Podcasters Day.
That's what we're gonna do.
There you go.
National Podcasters Day. That's what it's strictly for podcasters. That's what we're gonna do. Just think of a day.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Father's Day.
Maybe we can help Father's Day out if we actually made like you had to get something with Father's Day, right?
Yeah. Like Christmas trees have Christmas trees. Father's Day should have something.
Every dad gets this one thing. You can get him anything else, but every dad gets this one thing. Maybe you got to pick up some steam.
Like a lap dance from a stripper or something.
Okay.
I don't. I'm just spitballing some ideas out there. You guys, open forum. Tell me what you think, yay or nay. Just saying.
I mean, I'm not going to say yes, but I'm not going to say no either,
It's just something we try out.
The door starts knocking and someone comes in wearing an overcoat and there's, she's wearing high heels. Like,
you know what? I apologize now.
This is my day. It's my day.
Everybody on here, the next spot, I'm sending a lady to your house to give you a and I apologize to your family in advance. You won't even know.
But that'd be the great thing. You can't stop it till like your wife's gonna look at you and be like, "Sorry, babe. You know what happens?
It's already paid.
It's already paid for. I'm not wasting money."
Exactly.
You'd be like, well, she came all the way here. She walked up 3 flights of stairs, and look how high those stilettos are. So you might as well,
The least we could do is see her talents.
At least.
Honestly, there should be the pod where one person gets it and surprised every year, and we get one person every year with this. I'm in. I'll put my money in that. I would do it, and just we'll pick it, and we don't know. No one knows who it is. And just boom, there you go.
You know, every year it's going to be Joe or Roe. Every year it's going to be Joe or Roe. Me and Ev's working on it right now. It's going to be Joe and Roe every year.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat you guys to the punch. I'm sitting out my bar.
Yeah. Wait, somebody's knocking on my door. Hold on, guys.
There you go. I already did it.
Oh, man.
Right.
That's crazy.
What have you guys been doing, man? Have you been watching any playoffs, basketball, NBA right now?
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like my team, you know, the Warriors here in the West Coast or the Bay Area is taken out, so it's kind of hard to watch. I was still just trying to catch highlights. I'm happy the Lakers is gone, so you know, it's no repeat or whatever they're calling back to back, whatever they call it.
Are you excited about the Clippers?
Yeah, but you know, I don't know how you guys are, but whenever your team doesn't make the playoffs, you always got to go for outside the division. And with the Clippers,
you do this every year.
What's that? Yeah. So I'm trying to stay outside the division. So, you know, I wouldn't want the Clippers to win it. Well, I don't want any LA team winning anything. You know, that's just how it is.
Spoiled. You got a couple of rings.
Yeah.
The most of you.
Yeah, no, I want Philly to do it. I want Atlanta to do it. Milwaukee would be nice to see, you know, win the championship. You know, I'd want to see Philly because of Seth Curry. That's the reason why. So, you know, if Philly could pull it out, then that'd be cool. But, you know, Milwaukee.
I want Chris Paul.
Chris Paul?
Yeah, on the Suns. I want the Suns to pull it out. But big upset. I think.
Good story there. Yeah.
He's had so many injuries.
Yeah.
And just been there on the original Clippers team with him when I lived in LA watching them. I mean, a Lob City, and every year injury. So to see him fight through, upset the Lakers, and to see the way this team plays, I mean, with so much energy and just like, I don't give a, about anything. And the Clippers just pulled one out of their behind last minute. So I don't know. They're still hobbled up. Phoenix might, it's going to be a weird playoff scenario. I mean, with Milwaukee last night, I don't know. This might be the most not watched NBA Finals or most watched.
Here's something weird. I don't know if it's you, me, or if it's something that. So yeah, I was a Knicks fan. This season, like, completely re-energized. You know, my fandom. Like, just I like watching those stories of the underdog, of the team that put it together and really played their heart out. And, you know, though the playoff scenario was a disappointment. But with Atlanta beating them and now pushing Philly to the brink, do you kind of root for Atlanta? Because on one end, I'm like, well, you know, my team lost to the team that went all the way. Yeah. So that's like kind of one way to look at it. So that's kind of why, you know, if Atlanta does go all the way, I wouldn't be mad because there's that. I can say, well, you know, we lost to the champs or the team that played for the championship. Does anyone else do that, or do you completely like root elsewhere? You know, the team that beat you, eliminated you from the playoffs. I just think, you know, you secretly, you got to be like, oh, I hope that team does win it all. So at least I can say my team lost to the best team out there.
Yeah, no, I would want to see Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta's one of my picks, just because, you know, they're the 5th seed. You know, everyone didn't think they'd last this long, right? You know, and for them to go and do what they did and still continue to do what they're doing. I mean, you know, if they can get past Philly, man, that's going to be a crazy thing for Atlanta. And watching Atlanta and Milwaukee, 2 young teams go against each other in the playoffs would be, the Eastern Conference Finals would be a good game to watch. And I always want a team that has never been to the championship to play for the championship, because it's kind of give that excitement. You know, when you watch like a LeBron James, you know, and, you know, Kevin Durant, and you're like, you kind of expect what they're going to do. These young kids, man, you know, I'm ready to watch them just blow it up.
Yeah, and poor Philly, man. I'm afraid what's going to happen in that city if Philly does lose. Like, they're already.
Oh, they're crazy.
they're already turning on that team.
They're awful. They are literally the worst fans in all sports.
Yeah. Well, because from their perspective, they've been told trust the process, and now it's like, is this the process? Is this what it is? We just lose.
Yeah.
So, you know, you kind of get their frustration, but yeah, they don't make it.
What do you mean frustration? What you're in the playoffs? What are you talking about? Shut it.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Eagles won a championship within the past decade. So what are you upset about? You get your wins where you get your wins. But to piggyback on what you said earlier, because even though we're talking about basketball, because I'm a Jets fan, like when the Pats would beat us, I never had that. I never was jumping on the Pats. There's just certain teams I think you just hate and you just despise. Like I'm not rooting for them whatsoever. But in this, I kind of wanted Brooklyn to get upset just because of all the smack they were talking. They built that team that was just win it all. And I was like, the pressure was on for everything. So that's another question. Right? Kevin Durant get pressure for what happened? Or do you let him pass because Kyrie was hurt? Like what because if that's the scrutiny was huge if the team got upset with the full team and everybody was healthy. But now with injuries, do you let that slide and then next year? Like how does that work?
I think personally, Durant did put them on his back. So you can't fault Durant at all. He stepped up when he needed to be. And I'm not sure what you're going to say, Eric, and maybe we segue into this, but the injuries that, I think we talked about this before the podcast, is the injuries itself is like, what's going on? Is it a soft league or is there something else that is contributing to that?
Yeah.
So, but on paper, they were the team.
They were the team to
They
beat.
put it together. That was the team. Yeah.
But if you're a Kevin Durant and Brooklyn spent their money to come get you and then built a team around you, they already had Kyrie. So it's like, okay, Kevin and Kyrie, you guys are going to do well together. Now let's add in a James Harden. Let's bring in, what's that guy's name from Philly that came from the Clippers? I forget his name. They bring him in and they have a supporting cast. So if you got one man down, and Kyrie was the point guard, so that means whoever was backing him up should have been dishing the ball to Kevin Durant. I mean, what did he score? Like 40-something the other day, and they still lost? He did what he had to do. He put the team on his back. He got them in, but the supporting cast members should have been stepping up a little bit more. Be like, hey, look, KD is down. KD can't take this on his own. Let's go do what we can to help him out. And coming from here, the Golden State, when we lost that season to Toronto, and we had KD down, what did everyone know? We're going to throw everything to Steph. Steph's going to do it. Steph's going to, take us. But that one person can't take you to the championship. That one person's not going to take you there. I'm thinking, like, I don't know the severity of Kyrie's injury, but if that was Game 7, and it was Game 7, I would have done whatever I could, pain or not, to at least play 1 or 2 quarters. I mean, he didn't have a torn Achilles like Durant did when he was playing for the Warriors. He had like
there's no Willis Reeds in this league today, where you see a guy just limp out and give us something.
Yeah. Oh, even Kobe coming out and taking, like, no one's playing like that anymore with injuries. So that, again, that's your question. Do we have a softer league now, or because of COVID, was it just too much for teams to recover and all-stars to take? I mean, I look at a guy like LeBron, and he mentioned, hey, I don't think we should have the season start right away just because of his body. Even he was saying for my body to recover. And he's like one of the top guys who like puts millions of dollars into training. So did he have a point, or is it just a softer league?
I think it's a soft league in general. I mean, I'm older than you guys by a few. So growing up to watch the Charles Barkley's, the Showtime Magic Johnson days, people getting elbowed in the face and the referees not saying anything about that, right? Dennis Rodman,
bad boys,
kicking people, Detroit Pistons, the original bad boys of basketball, right? So when you're watching that kind of team, and then now you're seeing like LeBron James, the guy just whiffs you by the face and you do the whole Hollywood acting thing, and the referee's going to call a foul on that. It's like the league's gotten softer. The referee, I would say, is either getting paid or they're just calling whatever they think they see as a foul. So I'm kind of glad instant replay's back. But what I think the NBA needs to do, and I'm a fan of this, is if you're watching LeBron James playing basketball and they call 120 fouls on him in the season, and 80 of those fouls are, phony calls and him just acting out, they should get fined for every fake calls that they're getting. The referee should get a fine, the player should get a fine, just because back then they never played like that. They never played like, you played.
Let them play.
You played, you played to the balls in the hoop, or you played to the whistles blown. You don't wait for the referee to call a foul just because you think you got fouled. It's a different type of NBA, and I'm not a big fan of this NBA.
I think a lot of it is sorry, Rob, but I think a lot of it is it's the business of it. It's so much more than basketball. So corporations that own these teams, or whatever, they're protecting their interests. Yep. And look, the stars make money, and we can't have our stars, being hurt,
injured. Yeah.
So so I get it, and that, but but for this is always my point with professional sports. Without the fans, there is no professional sports. There is no business.
Yep.
So you got to give the fans something.
Yeah.
And all, not just what Eric said. I think all fans are like, dude, there's got to be something. We're paying money, even with like we say with the league being soft. You got games during the regular season where coaches are pulling their stars to give them a rest. That is unheard of. Like, back in the days, you would never, Ewing's tired, so we're going to rest him. Or we got a big series coming up, a big game coming up later this week. Let's rest them for that. Like, I'm paying money to come see you.
Yeah.
I want to see the best.
Let me play devil's advocate. As a business, I'm invested in my business, right? And so now you're seeing contracts that I love watching TNT because Charles Tech, if you the type of money these guys are getting paid. Are you kidding me? And so that's the difference, right? I'm investing in how much money, so the longevity, I have to get the maximum return. Yes. And so to go back the other way, though, to play devil's advocate, is like technology nowadays. They didn't have the tape. They didn't have the bathing, all the things, the sneakers, the shit, like all the equipment you can compression, everything.
Yeah.
You got compression elbows, legs, pretty much a whole suit.
You got some duct tape, you got some tape.
Yeah.
And that's what you're getting paid. And so there was a respect there for the league that you was like, yo, it doesn't matter, it's gritty. And then you had those stars, right? And it was really just those stars in that city or in that state. And that was it. There was nothing, there was no big around this guy. No. You had your handful of guys. And it was usually the guys who made the All-Star game, and that was it. But now you got like 3 or 4 guys on the team. He was hanging out with Drake the other night in the club. This new album, this guy's doing this. So it's just like, the politics with that. So I think the NBA, they did 2 things, right? One, in terms of the play-in was brilliant. I don't care what anybody says. I love the idea of the play-in. I don't know if that's something that they're going to keep going forward, but I love it. Now you made that last 2 weeks. It like you were watching must-see basketball to get in, and that reminded me of the bubble because the bubble I
like that.
Bubble was interesting because teams that had those gym guys that can light you up in a gym, but when the crowd's there, they can't hit a goddamn shot, and that's why Miami did well. Like teams like that, they're like, yo, ain't nobody here playing. I'm just gonna light your ass up.
Yeah.
Never play ball. You always know those guys like, damn, this guy's fucking good. And then as soon as the crowd comes, couldn't hit the side of the back, side of the rim or anything. So it was just one of those things that are going on. So
yeah, I liked it. I like that play-in thing.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Well, I was saying I like. I agree with everything you said, like with the play-in and the bubble. It was different kind of. But to go back, I think it's going to come down to the fans, and if we want some kind of change, we're going to have to do it. And the only way you do that is stop spending money. If you're not getting a premium product, and this is what's eventually going to happen, if I'm paying to see my team and I only see X amount of guy play, a certain amount of games, or you're not putting a premium product out there every night when we pay to see it, then, at some point it's got to suffer.
Yeah.
And that's got to come from the fans saying, hey, look, you know what? And it kind of happened here with the Knicks before. New York, especially with the Knicks, like, we'll let you know. Like, you're putting out garbage there. All right. Look, now you have an empty, this even happened before COVID.
Yeah.
The stadium has never been empty, minus COVID. He still sells every single night. No one cares about sports. It was better.
And it's funny you say it because I went to, I had floor seats once in my life, and we went down and we were on the floor, and this was the Marbury team, and
okay.
They were awful team, and so I'm sitting there, I'm happy to, I haven't, I had, if anybody knows, my history with the Knicks, when Charles Smith, when Charles Smith missed those tip-ins and all that, I renounced my, but anyway, I had a chance, I got on the floor, the Knicks, and nobody was watching the game. They were all watching each other and looking around to see who else was on the floor and like, oh, who's that? It had nothing to do with basketball.
Yeah.
So, I think that from that perspective, as far as like Madison Square Garden was like, like the cool club place to be, but it had nothing to do with basketball. Nobody's rooting for basketball. And around those years, anybody who was rooting for the Knicks knew nothing about basketball because all the real fans were like, nah, I'm not watching them. This is garbage. They're putting out garbage. I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to piggyback on you on that one because here in the Bay Area, when you're watching it on TV and you're seeing the first 3 rows, what you can see on TV, whether it's a good team or a bad team that's on there playing against the Warriors, you have those non-fans that's doing exactly what you said they're doing. They're on. I hate seeing them on their phones trying to take a selfie. I mean, you paid $1,000-something to be here or got invited by somebody to sit in their seats. Enjoy the game, man. It's like, and the fans that, oh, there's a 20-point lead, the game is over, the Warriors or the Knicks are winning, I'm walking out in the third quarter. It's like, the fuck, are you guys serious? It's like me, I would sit there till the referee or till the guy goes, hey, dude, you got to go. You got to leave. We're shutting down the lights. You got to go. No, I'm going to be there till the end because it's like, it just shows you that sports these days, it's not about, back then the fans. We love the sport. We can name every player on the team where you have that one fan that could only name, Steph Curry. Oh, Steph Curry. Oh, LeBron James for the Lakers and that other guy. That's all they can do. And it's like you got these fair weather fans, and they're taken away from the real fans that are watching it at home or watching it in the bar.
And they're keeping it alive. That's kind of what Roy was saying. Like, it is a business, and it's successful because you got people, because it's more than the actual game.
Yeah.
So you got people paying thousands of dollars for tickets who have no interest in the game, but it's an event.
Yeah.
So those people are sustaining.
Bro, it's all about
shitty basketball.
How many views and likes can you get on Instagram? That's all I'm at.
All it is. Yeah. I went to a basketball game one time, the Warrior game here when they were still playing in Oakland. It was before the strength in numbers. I think Steven Jackson was still the coach for the Warriors. Steph Curry was on the team, but he wasn't, the Steph Curry that we know now. And I was sitting like 3 rows away from behind the bench. And I was like, enjoying my time. I'm like, man, I'm going to take advantage of this. And I see a guy, the person who's taking the food order brings him like a nice, I swear to God, it was like a porterhouse. And I was like, oh my God, they have steaks here. And I asked the lady, I'm like, hey, where's that on the menu? And seriously, I swear to God, she's like, well, you're kind of like a row behind, the good menu. The first 2 rows are the good menus, and you're in the third row, so you kind of get the regular menu. I'm like, hey, you guys, really?
It's chicken fingers and fries for you, buddy.
Exactly. With a good ranch too, the expensive ranch.
Get the good ranch.
Yeah, the good ranch.
Third row.
Yeah, but no,
What's everybody's favorite thing to get at a sporting event? Like, there's one thing you always have. You're a pretzel guy, a hot dog. Like, LA, I was a Dodgers fan for a little bit. I'm a Yankees fan diehard, but I love getting a Dodger dog is great. And then the garlic fries they have are just unreal. Certain places have that, but is there a go-to thing that you always must have when you go to a game?
I would say depending on the place that you're at, right? Because you just mentioned the Dodger dog, the Dodger dog. We don't have that here at our place, but we do have garlic fries. For the Giants, they have a lobster sandwich that
I had that. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's the go-to. You spend $15, lobster sandwich, no fries. Got to pay the beer separately. But yeah, that's, to me, whenever I go there, that's like, okay, I'm going to get a lobster sandwich. That's the go-to right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what if you were just going to a game? It's not a park it's known for anything. You just gotta go grab something. What would
get something?
Has to be a hot dog. Hot dog's the winner. Yeah.
Oh, pizza. If it's like a good pizza in there, like if they have a
Nah.
You can't trust pizza from anywhere.
Oh, that's a good pizza place. Maybe I'll do it, but regardless, no. You're still gonna go hot dog over pizza or pretzel.
Yeah. I'm not a pretzel guy. I'm not a pretzel guy.
Yeah.
You know, if it doesn't say Auntie M's or anything like that, I'm not a pretzel guy.
Wow. I'm a pretzel guy. I'm Yankee Stadium. I always get the pretzel. At Yankee Stadium, they also got like a foot-long hot dog.
Yeah.
It's like primo. You know, I'll get that. But yeah, pretzel and beer. That's my go-to.
No,
Always like that.
I'm not a peanuts guy. I'm not a pretzel guy. But I know if I visit these stadiums and I see, you know, like my whole row eating a pretzel, I'll be like, you know what? Let me get a pretzel. Let me see what this whole pretzel thing's about. Yeah.
I like peanuts at a baseball game or Cracker Jacks.
Yeah.
So Yankee Stadium, they would. I don't know if they do it out there, but they'd always have Cracker Jacks. So I love getting because when's the last time you had a Cracker Jacks?
Yeah.
So do that, and then if it's a hot ass day, I will do ice cream in the cup in the hat.
Yeah.
I will do. I will definitely do ice cream in a hat, and yeah, beer. A nice beer is nice in a nice baseball game. Football game, but it just depends how old it is. Like if it's like deep into the winter, a little more warmer.
I still do. One of the coldest I've ever been in my life was at MetLife Stadium at a New York Giants game with my brother, and the new MetLife Stadium, like, so the seats that go around are like concrete, so it's not like the metal thing. I mean, they're like concrete seats, and it gets so cold there. I don't because I guess where it is, the wind comes. I mean, it gets so. But I had to have a beer. Yeah, and it comes in like circles the stadium. I mean, it is absolutely. My teeth were chattering and all that, and I'm still trying to drink the beer. And I remember going into. Did you guys ever watch I Am Legend with Will Smith?
Yes.
When he stumbles upon all like the monsters like in a room, like and they're all huddled like sleeping. So that was the bathroom at MetLife Stadium. I opened the door and it's just like a bunch of people and they're just like huddled together.
Smoke
so
with a cold smoke coming out of the mouth. Is that how it was?
Yes, exactly. I mean, it was something to see. But I just remember, you know, in my lifetime, there's been like 2 or 3 times where I've been, you know, frozen, and that was one of them.
Wow.
Well, when you buy tickets, you got to remember, like I always try to remember what time of the game is the sun on that side of stage.
There's a lot of scientific method that goes into. Well, and the funny thing, this game was in November, so it was the end of November. So I wasn't.
Probably good.
It was one of those days where it was like 17 degrees out, and the stadium was like 50 degrees cooler than that. And I kid you not, teeth chattering, shaking uncontrollably.
You might as well go home. You could have stayed home and you could have been warm and enjoyed it a lot. Especially nothing worse if you're cold and the team loses.
Yeah, so I don't remember if they look, but I do remember this. So where I had I don't remember the decencies, but I was up there. It wasn't quite nosebleeds, but it was almost eye level with. So one of the reasons they made the new MetLife Stadium is so they could have more box seating, the luxury boxes and all that. And I was like eye level, and you could look in, and you can just see like they're like stripping down to their clothes and like
so high.
The light just looks warm. It looked like the heating lamps at McDonald's. Like I'm like everybody's just like looking in there like, God, I hate you people because it just looked warm.
Yeah, I don't think we went through any of that here on the west side. The new stadium, Santa Clara. I've never been out there, so I've never been out there to watch a football game. Let's put it that way. But the old Candlestick, that was the reason why they got rid of that was because of the same. You know, you're talking about
it's on the water there, right?
On the water, the wind blows like 1,000 miles an hour. Yeah. But I've never been to an East Coast game. I want to, but I'd have to be like
Hey, come on, let's go.
Yeah, we will. Now that everything's lifted and COVID's over, we're picking the team. If the Niners and Giants, Niners and Jets, whoever's there, then I'll definitely be there.
Wherever you want to. I mean, if you want that L, let me know.
Yeah, not this year with the Jets. Sorry.
You know how good. I know we're gonna be so good. They haven't him throw one football. at all.
They're just gonna wait.
We're gonna be so good. They back up throwing the football. They have not shown this guy our number one pick. They have not shown one football yet. I can't wait.
You know what's funny was when the whole draft thing. We're going to go off topic here. When the whole draft thing was going on, and the Niners wasn't sure who they were going to pick up in number 3, and the Jets was sure they were going to get. Well, who did you guys get against? See, that's how bad it is. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
What's the quarterback's name? Yeah. So that kid.
Sam Darnold too. That's what I say.
When everyone's like, "Oh, what if the Niners get him?" I was like, I don't want him. I was like, he's the guy that if you look at the scouts right now, they're talking about Trevor Lawrence, they're talking about Mac Jones, they're talking about Trey Lance, who we picked up, but this guy for the Jets, they're not talking about him.
True.
No one.
It was not real scout. It's true.
Like sometimes when I live in, I think teams are just downright just racist. They just don't want to. I'm not saying.
Justin Fields was on there.
Yeah, Justin Fields. Yeah.
This guy makes no sense. I was like, Justin Fields looks good, and you can work with him. I'm just like, what is it about that we just don't want to I guess we just don't want to talk to him about stuff. So he won't get it. There's a mindset that we just don't understand whatsoever in New York City. It's tough. So
Zach Wilson, that's his name, Zach Wilson.
Yes, Zach. He honestly, my cousin sent me a picture. She's from Cleveland. And she was in the booth and they did all the picks and stuff. And she has a picture where she sent it to me. And I was like, I will send it to you guys later on a child. He really looks like a fresh baby face.
Yeah.
They'll light you up. And that is it. You know that one? Because I remember Sam Darnold, right? He was like, I'm seeing things, bro, on the field.
Yeah. Ghost.
And who gets mono as an adult? Come on,
man.
Not one job. Just play football. You get mono?
You know what? I swear to God, I bet you it was worse than mono. But mono was the only thing they can say that was good enough to say on the air that they won't look at him in a bad way. I mean, you're already looking at him in the bad way. It's like, dude, come on.
Yeah, the original COVID.
They couldn't say herpes.
Yeah, they couldn't say.
He had a flare up.
It's like my son's like, Dad, how do they get mono? I'm like, where do I start?
Yeah, how do you find that mononucleosis? Yeah. Oh, look it up. Google it.
Yeah, look it up. Google it. It's like if you're 20 something years old and you're an NFL prospect or quarterback and you're still getting mono, man, Yeah.
Like, dude, you don't take vitamins? Nothing?
Nothing.
Oh man.
Did you just graduate? Like you didn't there was a period if you were gonna get mono, it was like 14 to about 16.
Yeah.
When everybody else got it, that's when you get it.
That's when you do it. Oh,
it's like, Sam, when they walk up to you, Sam, at a bar and they're like, hey, I know you, let's go hook up. You don't say yes. Right? Don't say yes right away. Man.
Yes.
If the girl is foaming in her mouth, you run away. That's your rule of thumb. If there's foam in her mouth, you run away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Come on, man. You should know. You should have known better. I'm telling you, man, he got something else other than mono. And the NFL was like, let's give him mono. We can't give him VD. That looks bad.
You know what I love? Shout out to the people that are creative. I hate as a Jets fan, I follow their Instagram and fans I love because they'll always post something. So we won 2 games. We did not need to win because we would have had Trevor Lawrence, but anyway, won't go into that. But you would watch every week. They post something positive like, oh, we got blown out, but so-and-so had 100 yards and made 5 catches. And then the fans are like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Suck. We're the worst team in the world. Don't post anything about it. So I shout out to the people who are behind the scenes who still have to do their job and post positive notes about teams who just downright suck. I feel for you because I don't know how you're not I want to kill myself at this point, but I shout out to them because I don't think they get enough love.
Yeah,
I've seen some rights
the positive.
That happened in the game. It was my points, but that actually happened in the game. It's like, all right. So little things like that.
It's funny you mentioned that because last year, or was it last year when the 49ers played the Jets and the Niners ended up beating the Jets?
Yes, we should have won that game.
I saw on the note, I saw the Jets newspaper, or it could have been, on Instagram. It's like, oh, the Niners, the Jets lose to the 49ers, but, the 49ers lose. It's like, I was like, is that supposed to be a positive? But
back-to-back week, and you had somebody go down where you didn't have enough players.
Yeah. 2 weeks in a row. Yeah.
No,
So
it
was
like, we lost our number one pick, Joey Bosa, that day, and then we lost Solomon Thomas on the other side that day, and that messed up our whole defense. So it's like,
that's how they spoke. I'm like, they're not in our division. Doesn't affect us whatsoever. But thanks.
Thanks for the positive note. But they lost. I'm like, thanks.
I cry a lot.
We suck, but the team that beat us, they're not going to go anywhere anymore. So. That's a positive.
That's a positive, exactly. Man.
So what's fun? Are you guys excited about the summer? I mean, COVID's coming down. I mean, how New York is easing up here. We opened up everything officially. I was just in Chicago about a week ago. They didn't care. Friday, I went down there for a baseball game and visit my boy Adam. Shout out to him. And it was amazing. Bill Murray sang at this. Take me out. Yeah, I mean, you could hear him all around the Chicago. It was just so amazing. And that was the first day they opened up Chicago. So I did one of those roof deck games. You go to the rooftop across the street from the stadium. When I tell you it was Africa hot, it's never been so. They were like, yeah, it's a hot day. And luckily, I did not make it out after that game. I there's a picture of me passed out on the floor somewhere. His son ripped my my pocket off my shirt because he couldn't get me to get up. I apologize to Gabe. Sorry, Gabe. I'm telling this story. Are you excited about any trips planned for the summer? Eric, how's the West Coast? Is it still awful or is it opening up? What's going on out there?
No, surprisingly enough, it's funny. I mentioned this last week. Like I said, we went to Great America yesterday, right? So yesterday, Great America. Last week, prior to June 15th, is when the governor said California is going to open back up. And when the Hummanes open back up, more restaurants, the mask restriction is going to, be taken away. So last week we went to Great America. This is kind of like our Disneyland. For you guys out in New York, this is kind of like a small little theme park that the Bay Area has that, you can't afford to go to Disneyland, you go to Great America, right? That's what we have out here. So we went there last week. They were strict on the mask, like you got to wear a mask everywhere you go. You're outdoors, 80, 90 degree weather. You're wearing a mask. Your face is sweating. You're like, fuck, I can't walk around wearing this mask this long. Fast forward to yesterday. We go up there yesterday. The person in the parking booth is like, if you guys are fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear your mask anymore. And I'm like, even if I'm not, which I am, but even if I'm not, who's going to know if I'm not fully vaccinated? I'm not, like, you see 1,000 people walking around without the mask. I'm not going to be like, So the mask restriction is lifted here. California is definitely opening up. After that, we went to a restaurant and it was kind of like 50-50. Some workers were wearing masks. Some workers weren't wearing masks. And just so happens the guy who was, bringing our food wasn't wearing a mask. But I'm just going to have to trust the process. If you guys don't know, I work in healthcare. I work in healthcare, and I've been at work this whole time working, seeing people who are like, well, this is not a real virus. This is all fake. I've been up to the ICU at my work to see where people were actually laying there, suffering from this COVID. But it's been, like you said, it's been too long to where now we're kind of where we want to be. And if this is how we're going to move forward, I'm ready to move forward. And California, taking it slow, still being cautious. If I go into Target and I'm that close quarters with someone, I'm going to put my mask on. But if I'm walking outdoors, and I'm going to keep the mask off.
All right.
So.
Yeah, I think if any good came from this, I do like the whole mask thing. Not only just from being an introvert, great to put a mask up when you see somebody from high school and like, damn, you can put your mask on. But just in general, we have bad flu seasons, pneumonia, all these other things. Like, it's great to be able to just, put on a mask and, any chance like, oh, that could, you hear somebody hocking up their lung, like mask on.
Yep.
In places like I think Singapore and like that, they've always before COVID had the mask thing. You'll see that. So I'm all about embracing the mask mentality and having it handy. I think that's a cool thing. If anything from that.
I work in the fitness industry. I want to punch people in the face.
Yeah.
Because we're doing an honor system. And so, there's people that if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. There's about 5 people I know that personally have told me I'm never getting vaccinated, which again, that's you, that's your choice.
Yeah.
But I see them rocking no mask and I'm like,
exactly.
And I can't confront them. I can't go into, I'm like, you mother. So I still wear my mask at work. There was like, oh, you still, I was like, yeah, you know what? I deal with so many people every day. So I just want to be mindful, and I am vaccinated as well. Again, that's up to you. It's your choice. I just don't understand why you wouldn't, but that's a whole nother conversation. But it's just the certain liberties that people take, like their rights are being taken away. It's like, oh my God, the world's going to end. It's so crazy. So we're going to see. I mean, I really wanted to go abroad this summer.
Yeah.
But then stuff flare up. So I'm like, like you can't. So it looks like it might be just something in the States. So I went to Puerto Rico a couple of months ago. I had the best time, went for 5 days. So maybe I'll put that back on the bucket list for August or maybe something crazy. But I definitely got to get out of here, just travel as much as you can, just for peace of mind. And also I'd like to see what's actually going on in other cities because the news gives you one kind of depiction of what's going on until you see it for yourself. So within the past 3 months, I've been to LA, I've been to Chicago, and I get to see like Eric, we have you and Joe that live on the West Coast. You actually have points of reference where you can actually, I've been there, I've talked to people. So regardless of what the news is saying, no, these are actually people walking around there.
Yeah.
What's going on? To give me an honest opinion. So when someone says to me, New York, they're shooting everybody up in there, I'm like, there's the one-off of like, what happens in Times Square. It's random that it happens, but it's just like any city you visit. When I visit Chicago, people are like, aren't you scared? I'm like, it's coming to New York. There's places you just don't go to those places.
That's all it is.
Then you'll be all right.
That's all it is.
Sensationalism. The news will sensationalize everything.
Yeah.
And they make money off of fear. Yeah. So if they can scare people and push agendas, But one thing I think I'm looking forward to, I don't know about you, which I definitely plan on doing. We spoke about is Vegas. I want to see Vegas. It's so bad. I want to see Vegas even partially opened up. No. Yeah, I'm still doing Vegas. So my wife, she turns 40 this year, and we're gonna do her. I got married in Vegas. So we're going to do our little, her birthday and like an anniversary thing in Vegas. Who else is going to be there? I don't know. I'm sure Ro might. We talked about that, but
10-hour drive for me.
You guys are invited. You guys are invited.
There you go.
There's no
plane ride, 150 round trip. That's 150 round trip.
Yeah, but I'm more of a driver. I'm more of I like to see the scenes, Yeah. I'm the
Me too. I like that too. If you can. If I could drive there, I would too. But
that Vegas drive, I lived in LA for 5 years. I did that drive 4 times.
Yeah.
I've never enjoyed that.
It's just desert.
That's like a 4-hour drive, right? From LA to Vegas. Was that a 4 or 5 hour drive? Yeah.
But it's just like one road, it's like the windy, bendy, and just it's not fun. It's like driving upstate for East Coast people. It's that annoying. It's not like the one. I'm driving down the one and just seeing all this.
Yeah.
No, it's just like die.
No.
And you just want an Uber back. It's $500, ladies and gentlemen. You can actually get an Uber from LA to Vegas for $500.
Wow.
Would you do it?
Yeah, but you might have an Uber driver that's going to be like, the whole drive up there. That's what you're hearing. Come on, can you handle that?
Listen,
coming back. It's
no, coming back, no. But going there, yes.
Coming back with that headache, and you're like, oh God.
So I have about this when I lived out in LA, I lived out there 2011 to 2016. And later on, this is before like Facebook was just starting to be big and like Instagram. And then we didn't have Uber and all that stuff.
Yeah.
People don't understand Uber and Facebook are really like under 10 years, of being around, but they've changed our lives so much. And so I went to go visit some friends, and I'm like, how much is an Uber to like $500? We can fit 5 people in the car. I'm like, oh shit, $100 a piece. That makes sense. But then I'm like, oh, we're drunk, and some of us have had some edibles, and I'm like, it's gonna wear off at some point, right? So at what point is the decision be made? Right? It's a 4-hour drive. 2 hours in, you're like, yeah, this isn't a good idea.
Where you wake up screaming. Where am I? I'm in the desert.
So what did you guys do in Vegas while you were there? What did you gamble? Did you win some money? What did you do?
I do not condone anything Eric just did right there. I do not.
Yeah, no. That's my Uber driver impression.
They'll cancel you just for coughing.
Oh man, no, I would like to drive. If I can drive to New York, I would drive to New York. I wouldn't, but I can. I wouldn't. I mean, that right there is gonna like draw the line.
You need the time to do it.
But see, my thing is, I like there's a lot of history in these roads that's being driven, right? And sometimes I like to take off from the beaten path and go down a road like Route 99 here in the California to Chicago, and just be like, man, like 30 years ago, this road had this. I mean, that's just me. That's just how I think. So that trip to Vegas, there's just a lot of things there from here that, that I wouldn't mind seeing. And yeah, you're right. On the way home, I'd be like, damn, should have taken a plane, but yeah, I'm not patient. I'm not.
To the East Coast?
The furthest I've ever driven, I have cousins that lived in Arkansas, North Little Rock, and we would visit them every other summer. And you want to talk about, racism back in the 80s, man. They didn't know what a Filipino was when I went out there. We went to the mall. I'll tell you this funny story. We went to the mall. My cousin, he's half Filipino, half white. He's walking around, he has that country accent, and he's just telling everybody, oh, this is my cousin Eric, he's from California. They're like, oh, I didn't know your cousin was Chinese. They're like, he's not Chinese, he's Filipino. They're like, a what?
What in the hell did you say?
A Fila what? I go, from the Philippines? And then they look at me and they're like, he speaks good English. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, no, that was funny. In the 80s, man, I've gone through, I was like, oh my God, is this still out here? Do these people still like this out here?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And if they existed then, those people now have kids that they've passed that on to. So. Yeah,
I mean, you saw them all. Y'all saw them at the state capitol not that long ago, right? They're all up there.
Talking about it. That never happened.
Right.
Oh, that never happened. That's right. That was an episode of Twilight Zone that I was watching.
Exactly.
That's right.
I mean, driven across country. I know you've driven to Florida a bunch of times. But
Florida like once a year. But right before COVID, one of my biggest road trips, I did that like all the way down to Florida, and then drove all around Florida, and then went to New Orleans, and then came back like kind of through the kind of Midwest area through Tennessee, West Virginia, and all that. Farthest west I've driven was Chicago.
Okay.
Me and Joe did that trip, which was nice. I rented a Cadillac for that.
Nice.
We went in style. But the trick is with the road trips, like, it's having the time to do it. Because I'm like you, Erica. I want to stop, and I don't want to have deadlines. Like, okay, by this date we need to be here.
Yeah.
So if you're doing it that way, it sucks.
Yeah.
If you're giving yourself just plenty of time, like, look, we get there, and then you just enjoy it so much more. So I'm kind of trying to plan like a cross country trip where we'll go, through Chicago to Reno, and then hit California, go south, and then come back through the south.
Nice.
But it's just about having the time off. I have 2 weeks off coming. Don't know if I could fit that all in. So that's one of the things. But yeah, I enjoy driving. because of seeing that change of scenery. It's just great going into a new state. Every time you get into a new state, and
1 hour later,
it's funny how there's people are different in every state.
Oh yeah.
But seeing things that you see on TV and all that.
I have two like long distance drives. I did drive cross country when I first moved out to LA with a friend of mine, and then I remember in college we drove down to South Carolina, Myrtle Beach for spring break, and that was the first time. I don't know if you guys have ever seen one of those breakfast strip clubs on the side of the road.
Oh wow!
Like these exist, and like big truckers like park in these things. And I remember like, yo, we got to go in this and see what it's about. And I'm so grossed out of my life seeing one of those as a college kid. And I'm like, I'm like, what is going on? Just all big trucker guys sitting down, and then it's fiberglass, right? And then you get your order, what you want, your breakfast, and they make it right there. And then these dancers, when I tell you, oh, God bless, ooh. And it was like the middle of the day, and that's like the place to be. And I was just like, I could never in my life imagine a life like this. It just, anyway. Wow. And then before I moved to LA, I drove cross country. So we took the southern route, but we did New York. We made a stop in DC to Atlanta to New Orleans, Atlanta to South Carolina, right? That's right. South Carolina to
Atlanta.
Yeah. South Carolina DC to South Carolina to Atlanta, Atlanta to New Orleans to Dallas, and then we did Austin, and then I went to Phoenix. I went to the All-Star game. It was Derek Jeter's last All-Star game. He didn't play because he was injured, but I went to the All-Star game for $50 to an All-Star game. If anybody from the West Coast to go to an All-Star game for any sport is crazy. It was $50 in Phoenix, $50. Wow. And we still had good seats. I couldn't believe it. I was like, when am I ever going to do this? $50 for it.
Right.
Go to Phoenix for the All-Star game. It was amazing crowd, hot as balls. That dry heat, right?
Dry heat,
yeah.
And Phoenix, we did the Grand Canyon. Now, if anybody knows the Grand Canyon, the point is we're going to LA. So the Grand Canyon, you have to make a really good choice here, because that drive is a long drive, but you can stop in Vegas in between, and that makes it not as much. So what do? Go to Vegas. So we do half that split up. So go to Vegas and from Vegas to Cali. And it was amazing just seeing our country. For everything that's out there. I really want to do the northern route because I want to go see Colorado and all that stuff there. Yeah. I was told never to drive through the middle as a black man, so I've stuck to that my whole life. So, besides that, but hey, I'm down. And driving up and down the one has been I've done that probably about 5 times. My favorite stop is Pebble Beach. I mean, the houses there. I mean,
yeah.
Woo.
We did a trip from here to Seattle one time just because we were going to be up there, and that was like a 15-hour drive the whole time. But I'm telling you, like you said, the scenery, to see the hills of California, then all of a sudden the flatlands when you get up to the like the Oregon's area, then you see nothing but trees when you get to like Oregon, Washington. I'm like, man, this is something you never see. In the city, you live in a big city. You guys live in a big city, and when you come out, and all of a sudden you can actually smell what the fresh air is supposed to smell like. You're like, wow,
Yeah. Dude, I appreciate it all the time. Joe's wedding, I was like, ooh, this is nice.
Yeah.
This is good. A bottle this, take it home.
Yeah. That was a nice little area, that little beach area that he had his little wedding at. That was a nice little spot out there. It's a popular area for a lot of people to do their little hikes and walks in that area. So
you don't live close to there, right? You had to come. That was a travel for you, or was that
25 minutes?
Okay,
like I live in, I would say I would live in the western edition part of San Francisco. So I live in the middle of San Francisco. I live in the famous Fillmore district where, back then growing up, this is where they put all, the African Americans, because they said, this is where we want you to live. So this is where I grew up my whole life, in this area. So anything outside of the Western Addition, my kids are being raised here in the Western Addition. They love it out here. You know, it's one of those things where you have to be able to control yourself before you can say, you know, I seen kids that lives in like Sacramento. They're like, well, I don't want to come to San Francisco. It's scary over there. Yeah. We tell them, well, then you don't want to come to my neighborhood because, you know, I live in the Western Addition, so you don't want to live there. So trust me, you don't want to come by there. So it's just one of those things. Like my kids, when they hear somebody goes, "Oh man, I'm ghetto," it's like, no, you guys don't know what ghetto is. You don't know what ghetto is.
It's tough out there.
Yeah. And I tell them, hey, everyone's ghetto is different. So if they say they're ghetto in New Orleans, believe them. They're ghetto in New Orleans. But if someone in Sacramento saying they're ghetto in Sacramento, no, they're not ghetto in Sacramento.
Well, hold on. I know a couple of guys from Sacktown that were like little E40. They were really repping E40 back in. I mean, I think if they're our generation, yeah. The younger kids now, no. But if they're our generation, I when they say Sacktown, I'm like, all right, brother, are we good?
No, these are young kids. These are young kids. These are young kids that are saying they're ghetto.
They get no respect from me then. But the old cats come in repping Sac. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, back then, Sac was just Sac exactly what it is. It was Sac. It was nothing there. Now they got houses. The development's nice. They got charter schools. Sac is different.
The stadium is right in downtown where the Sacramento Kings play. It's right downtown in the heart of the city. Yeah. It was just amazing what they did. The landscape, apartments, everything new, clean. I was like, this is a great city. It's like, where are all the homeless? It's like, we put them on trains. We ship them
out
to San Francisco.
They're all back here where we are. Exactly.
Yep.
Like, no, seriously. We gave them vouchers, train vouchers. Yeah. They went on the train and they went over to San Francisco.
They did.
I was like, that's crazy.
We have something called Tent City because you know, homeless people. That's where they're like, hey, we're gonna sit here. And the two mayors that we had, it's like, you know, when we had the Super Bowl here, they had Tent City in the middle of a Super Bowl city where they're like, we got to figure out where we're going to put these people because they're an eyesore. So what do? They hid them away from where they knew the tourists was going to walk around. And these homeless people's like, I'm not leaving this. I like this little area right here. I'm staying right where we are. Now that area is being developed by, you know, condos, and they're like trying to figure out where to put these homeless people. It's like, man, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. I say give them.
Tonight, can we everybody give one suggestion on how to just solve homelessness? Is there a way to solve it, or is it just? I had to Google it the other day, and I was just like, it's got to get better. Because I remember when I was again in LA 2 months ago, in Hollywood I used to live, I was just grossed out. Like Hollywood was disgusting, and then New York is disgusting, and it's just next level of just people just don't want to go anywhere. Don't want to be told what to do, but where these areas that were up and coming, making a lot of money, have just homeless, just don't care, laying on the street. Some guy who pulled a mattress out and just sleeping like really? We don't care.
That's how it is here.
We solved this.
That's a good question, and I think it's up to the homeless people because you got homeless people that are willing, like, hey, I'm going to give you a job. This is what you're going to do, and this is how you're going to do it. And they're willing to take that next step and say, I want a job. I want a place to live. I want to do this. But then you got that other group where it's like, I just want to get drunk. I want to get high, and I don't care where I sleep. So there's a lot involved. And I think the cities that we live in are not putting enough effort into getting helping these homeless. You know, I don't want to say getting rid of them, but helping them is like another level for them. It's like you got to find one person to do that, and I don't think everyone wants to do that right now.
Well, on the Woken Up Woke, the very first episode, it was just me, myself, and I touch on that because, you know, me traveling early hours in New York City and really seeing it. And one of the things I brought up was just, like you just said, it's something that's going to come from the people who are homeless, but from the city perspective, stop making it, and it's going to sound crazy, but stop making it comfortable. You're making it too easy. When you're going out and you're allowing certain things, you're allowing a tent city, and when someone has an addiction problem or a mental health problem, and you're giving them just the little creature comforts, you know, it's enough for them to live on the streets. because they're not being challenged. They're not getting the help. They're not, so it's a collective effort.
Yeah.
But you can't make it too easy. And the point I brought up was like, I'm going to work at 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to be doing this. And it's human nature to, just say, hey, I just stop doing this. I can make this comfortable. I'm walking past a heated Subway grate, and I'm like, damn, if I had a nice big box and a mattress and a blanket, I could get used to that.
Yeah.
And just, panhandle for enough money to get my fix or whatever. It becomes habitual, and you get used to it. It's a form of comfort. So we have to, find a way to not enable the people that are sick or addiction, and don't enable that process, but actually try to find them help. And it doesn't help when the politicians are corrupt. Out here in New York City, we have de Blasio. He makes his wife the head of the mental health and all that. They pour millions of dollars and Ro can tell you it's worse than it's ever been as far as people with mental health issues out on the streets, attacking people. You just see it. You see young people our age and younger, and they're out there having full-blown conversations with themselves. And, something happened. All that money went into this program and it got worse. It tells you there's some kind of corruption.
Yeah. I mean, if their car's gotten better and they're living a nice, lavish lifestyle, half of that money went to them and not to where it's supposed to go. Because it's happening here, too, in San Francisco. It's like they put so much into a foundation where they got to find help with these people, mental issues, whether they can get them off the streets. But we see the people, we see the representatives, but we don't see the change. We see them there. They're on the news all the time. Oh, we have to do this. We have to do that. But tomorrow you'll see, a 20-year-old just, we just had one just a couple weeks ago where the lady was just standing there waiting for the bus, and the guy comes behind her and stabs her like 7 times for no reason. Oh. For no reason. It was a 98-year-old Asian lady for no reason, and then the guy said she was in my way. That's all it was. And it's like, and then our district attorney, who he is one that everyone wants to get out. I mean, he's getting death threats up the wazoo here in San Francisco because, that guy that I just mentioned was just in jail for something, but he's like, there's not enough to keep him in here. It's going to cost us more to keep him in here. Let's let him go. So they let him go. And then, a couple of days later, he has a knife. He's stabbing somebody. And fortunately the lady didn't die. She suffered, lacerations, and she's still in the hospital. But just what if she did die? And you're that family member that just said he was in jail for doing the same exact thing, and you let him go because there's not enough to keep him in there? I mean, I don't think they look at it that way. I think they look at it as, again, politics and money.
Yeah. Especially when you throw so much money and you make, let's say, we start a homeless initiative, and then you start throwing money at it. And then that's when the greed, there's so much money being thrown at these things. Like, this homeless organization has now become a multi-million-dollar organization. People are going to have their hand in the pot. And so once you introduce that money and greed takes over, then they're more worried about the money and the actual purpose of that organization. It gets lost.
Yeah.
Now everybody's got a hand in, trying to get some of that money.
Yeah.
So,
I have a but I'm going to get canceled, so I won't speak. I decided to be silent during this.
Well, I have another idea too, and it would make a great movie. But it's not a pop. I always thought about that though. This new organization that comes out and they're cleaning up the streets, but then you find out what's really going on behind the scenes. Yeah. It's gonna be a good one.
One of those.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I've seen that movie before, but yeah, I definitely want.
I'll throw some twists and turns in it. Yeah.
That
Fight Island or something.
That would be. I mean, man, I've talked to people before where, excuse me, the hotel that me and Joe met at, we had a manager there, and he's, from North Dakota State. He's like, this jock that wrestled there, and man, he had ideas of how to do them, and his ideas was like, get rid of homeless people. That was his idea. And I was like, well, how are you going to do it?
But how? How getting rid of the homeless people?
But his ideas were not good ideas. I mean,
They're more for my movie. Yeah.
I don't
Eliminate the homeless problem.
His idea, and I'm gonna say it. His ideas was seriously buy a pack of cigarettes, dip the ends in cyanide.
Wow.
And just walk around a homeless person and just accidentally drop one. Because that's what they do. They like to pick up old cigarettes and smoke them.
Wow.
And yeah. No, that was his idea. And I was like, and I work with you? It's like, hey, Eric, I got some water. You want some water? I was like, no, thanks, man.
A drink? No, I'm taking nothing from that.
Yeah, I'm not taking nothing from you. Exactly. He lasted about a month or two, and then
But that's a good idea, though. I mean,
but I told him, you got to be picky on who it is. You can't just, like if you see the guy there and he doesn't look like he looks like he still wants to live the next day. You can't give him that cigarette. It's the ones that don't care.
So are we? Let's go on another note. Let's just go really crazy here.
Yes. Let's go.
Death penalty.
Say that again.
Are you for or against the death penalty?
Depending on the crime. I mean, if you purposely, physically said, I'm going to kill you, and you did it with no remorse, then yes, you deserve the death penalty. If you're a serial killer and this is just twisted in your head and you want to I got to kill, I got to get my urge to kill, then yes, you deserve the death penalty. But accidental death, stuff like that, I mean, it really depends on the crime.
How about you, F?
I'm against it and all the way. And every time I tell people that, it shocks them because they always think I'm very conservative with my viewpoint, but I differ there and just my reasoning is that this couple of reasons. One of the main reasons being just that, at some point we were all children, and when you look at a person in a child's eyes, I think something happened along the way that makes these people, worthy or deserving of something like that, a capital punishment. But there's something that happens, and was it something that they weren't able to control that contributed to this factor that made them, a killer or whatever. And then the other point being, and I heard this because I went to mass last week. I go to church every now and then, and the priest was giving a sermon, and what he said about the capital punishment, he brought up this case where this guy who was a death row inmate, and during that time, he worked and he admitted to his faults. He said he deserved his capital punishment, whatever. He didn't want to die, but anyway, during this process, he worked and found forgiveness or whatever. But then he started working with other inmates and was giving them, helping them in different ways, whatever. And then eventually he was still put to death, after a bunch of appeals and all. But within that time, him being on capital punishment, on death row, he affected the lives of other people. So even though he was, sentenced to death and all that, he still had a chance to do something with his life and provide some kind of positive to these people. Is that going to happen all the time? You don't know.
Yeah.
But if we were, do you give those people a chance to redeem themselves or make some kind of point about their lives? So that's why I always think I don't know. The bottom line is I just don't think it's us as human beings. It's not our decision to say, when someone's life is over. That's just me. And I always listen. I always, listen to all sides of the arguments, and everyone makes great points. So it's not what I say goes. Not that. So
I was against the death penalty until recently, COVID. I think Thanos had it right on the head.
I don't disagree with Thanos. Yeah,
my finger. I just. I don't like the crazy ones. Those are the ones for me, the crazy people. And again, I know there's something wrong with them, but here's my theory on crazy. It's funny to me, you're crazy, but you put on a mask, right? Think about that. I've gotten you're crazy, but I've gotten you to put a mask on. You know that's wrong. So something's not, something up there that we can work with. So that whole theory of crazy, I think we need to redefine that. Because I'm like, okay.
I agree.
Seeing these same people that were doing all this crazy stuff before, now we got them to wear a mask, but we can't get them to be civilized. Do you understand what it takes? People are losing their mind over wearing a mask, but we can get crazy people to wear masks.
Yeah.
And so when I see this homeless crazy dude wearing a mask, I'm like, how the fuck? Like, who convinced you? Hey, you have to do this if you want to do certain things. Really? But I can peek shit wherever I want.
It wasn't even an afterthought, too. They just put on the mask. Okay.
That's what it's so crazy to me. So I've been in a dark place. Sorry. I have not taken it out of anybody, but it's definitely frustrating just the energy. I'll tell this one story. I was coming back from Chicago, so I took the later flight in. I got in at 1 o'clock at Newark. So I had to go into work. And I'm going to work. I'm getting on the PATH train to go to work. And this black lady gets on. You could tell she's a little bit off. Has no mask on. That was the signal right off the bat. No mask on the train. At least people still wearing masks on the train. Gets on the train. There's this Spanish couple, like family, sitting on the train already. She goes, "Excuse me, do you mind if I sit right next to there's an open seat, but everybody's kind of weird now, with seating."
Yeah.
She's like, "I've been vaccinated." He's like, no problem. Sit down. I knew this was going to get, I just saw her face and I was like, this is going to get, sure enough, they're talking in their native tongue. She goes, excuse me, can I ask you a question? Now, what kind of Spanish you speaking? Because I know and sometimes it sounds like and then sounds like which one is that? And I was like, yo, straight up said that on the train, like they were from Central America, and that was her explaining the different dialects of Spanish. And I was like, I just jumped off and got into the next part because I was like, I didn't even want to see where this was gonna go.
What's gonna happen?
Down there, like straight face. It just said that like that. Even the brother, we looked at each other like, oh damn, like. Like that's how you're gonna start the day off. You don't even think about that. That didn't even come process yet. You just spit it right out. So anyway, shout out to those people out there that just don't give them.
So Ro is in favor of the purge. I'm taking it.
Listen, let's be honest. I wouldn't kill anybody, but you wouldn't be in favor of a purge.
I think there should be. It doesn't have to be the purge. I fully believe that stupid people will take themselves out. So what we need is something that allows that to happen or speed up the process. I thought COVID was it because you figure all the stupid people, my rights and this and that. And that. Okay, good. We'll get rid of some people like that. No, we need something a little more. I don't know.
Not all of them are stupid, but yes, you got.
Right. We need something that specifically targets the stupid people who think they're smart. And
4th of July always takes somebody's hand up.
Right. We need something like that along that line.
Like of that next level.
Yeah.
Or something like, you guys know what lemmings are, where they'll just, go over a cliff. We need something like that. Somebody come and just lead the stupid people over a cliff. Tell them, I don't know, there's free Xboxes or something and just let's watch it happen.
This is where we don't wear the mask. This way.
Follow me.
Get COVID, forget vaccinations. The constantly.
Follow me. We're storming the Capitol this way.
This way. Exactly.
None of them died. You know what? That was a tough. Sorry, 2 seconds. That was tough because I argue with a lot of my white friends, and they said if black people would have done that, the same thing would have happened. I was like,
no.
Yeah, we would have been talking about massacres.
No.
I was like, no. If black people had done it, the same thing would have happened. And I'm like,
no.
Really? All right. Okay.
I think if black people were there, I think the National Guard would have been there a lot faster than what happened.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even got to the stairs.
Yeah. No. Everybody's phone would have that alert, big gathering at the Capitol. And next thing you know, everyone's over there. Yeah, no, it would have. No.
The new ring on your phone, it's a black alert.
Black
and
alert.
just go warn you of all.
I give props to that one black guy that was there, that was like in the middle, just standing there like, yeah, this is me right here.
There was two brothers. One went in, and I was like, yo, I hope you know what you're doing.
But they had that one guy that he was like in between, like, should I don't know.
Yeah.
All the white people are doing it, but something's telling me not go the other way. You see him like hung up, like.
There's a meme out. I gotta find that meme where one guy's walking out, and he has nothing in his hands, and the meme says they said they had big TVs in here. They lied.
That's messed up. That's true though. That's true.
I came out with a piece of paper that said, Nancy, what? No.
That's bull. And listen, I need to, like I said this at work, I need to live my life like some people do. Just don't, like you.
Well, that's what I'm talking about with the whole Lemmings thing. And, we don't want to go off target with the whole Capitol thing, but the mindset and a lot of those people's head was they really were going to go in there and just change how government was going to work and just really were going to stop something. Like they were going to get in there and be like, okay, Trump's president, whatever the motive in their head was, which was so far from reality. But they really thought something was happening, like this was the revolution or the race war or whatever. There was something in the back of these people's heads that were like, yeah, I'm going there to do this, and something's going to happen, and it's going to change life as we know it forever. We're storming the Capitol. And going streaking.
And the sad part was half of those people believed it. That's what I mean.
Half of those people believed it. The ones who didn't believe it were the ones who took the private jets and had the jets on standby because they knew exactly we're going to go down to this little rally, have fun,
see how it is,
jump back on the plane and get out of here.
We'll let them break the fence down first. We'll stay back here and see what goes on. It's like, oh shit, it's bad. Let's go.
What do you tell your friends and stuff? We've had Asians being beaten, during this whole COVID situation. That's been huge. Just police reform has been conversation. There's so much negative energy, and then the lies of Trump. Like, what do you tell the people you see every day, like, to stay positive? Like, how do you look for another day? Like, hey, it's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna work its way out. Like, how do you work through those day-to-days of just like the crazy shit that's been going on in the past year and a half?
It's a good one, man.
Sorry. That's a deep
good one.
You want an answer to that? Well, I do have something on that. I think we spoke about it on Woken Up Woke, and we had it on one of the where we talked about what Charles Barkley said on the air about how politicians now really are divisive. They're really trying to pull people one way to the extremes, pull the people from the middle to the extremes, and they're really trying to pull us apart. And I just think the thing that was left out was also that the media does it. All media does that. Media is a business. It's not about informing us. It's about, catering to sponsors and all that. So they're going to sensationalize things. So I think really the best thing to do, and, is to be informed, but don't dwell on it. Yeah. You go to places where, CNN or Fox is playing 24/7 in this place, and it's just perpetuating certain things. If you're listening to these politicians who are trying to get elected so they can line their pockets, tell you the same thing over and over, it's gonna beat you up and wear you down. Yeah. So you really got to go out there, and like we were just talking about traveling and all that. Go out there and see for yourself. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna meet good people.
Yeah.
There are good people out there. There are happy people. Go out and find those people. Gravitate to the happy people that make you feel happy. And that'll kind of, do away with the negative. Check out our podcast. Check out the Ordinary Joes. Check out Woken Up Woke. We're here having fun. This right here got us, through the pandemic.
It did.
To get on here and be able to talk about everything that we just talked about, serious issues, lighthearted issues, but, have real conversations. Get out there and find those people and do that, just for your own sanity.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
No, you're right. You're right, man. I mean, there's a lot of negativity going on everywhere that you got to find that one positive, note to get you going the next day. And for the people who does it every day and come to work every day and they have that smile, whether it's fake or not, man, I give props to them, because I come to work, especially on a Monday, like, damn, I don't really want to be here right now. It's a Monday. I could have slept another hour or so, but now, had you gotten in a lap dance the day before for Father's Day, you would. I'm just saying. I mean, I looked at my door. I checked out my door cam. There's nobody standing there. So. Yeah, I'm still waiting. Bro. Who did you send? How far are they coming from? Bro.
I'm amazing. This is gonna be so.
Hey, Ro, I'll just tell you right now, man. I'm be honest with you, okay? I mean, be truthful. Please do not get any of the girls from my area, from where I live.
Okay.
I know them. I know how they are. I know what they look. And trust me, they have more than mono. So I don't want them in the house. And they might, Anybody
who knows Sam Darnold, don't send them.
Deal with answering that. I think that's. You don't even need a lap dance. Just having them knock on the door and asking for you is more than enough. We gotta find a way. From now on, we all have to have our phones with us. So when we hear a door knock, we just got to get ready to record who it is, so we can have that look on our face when we're like, "Damn you, Ro, she's happening. She's hot. She's a cutie." Or I was gonna. My boy, so in LA, I don't know if they have it in San Francisco, but they have like $100 and a new topless will clean your house topless.
Oh,
you guys have that? The van, you never seen so there's a van and it's just like a promotional ad on the side of like this street, and so you can hire it. So we Googled it and like looked it all up. So yeah, you can hire it. She's topless, not always cute, so it just depends on what you get, but topless, and they clean your apartment for $100 now.
Wow. Wait. How long?
Yeah, I was just saying. Well, how are they cleaning it? Like, because they're topless. Are they using their?
I don't know more than that. I just know that they clean it topless. So that's the only thing you see. But you're guaranteed to see the breasts will be out. Yes.
But how long though? I mean, it's like
1 hour.
1 hour. Okay.
Longer, but for 1 hour, $99 gets you 1 hour.
All right. So if you ladies are listening, I'll give you $500 and you can keep your clothes on, but I still need you to come here and clean my place.
Wow. I'll clean your house for $500. Shit.
No, you don't. You don't trust me. You don't.
That's a shit. Where we go?
And topless. We'll do it topless too.
Turn off.
Kids, you got to go. Ro's taking his shirt off.
There you go. That's time. Put my music on too.
That's Ro right there. Guys, that's Ro. This is how they do it in New York, guys.
Some say yes.
It is June and it is still Pride Month, so
Oh God, don't do that. Summer movies. Let's talk about this, guys. Any big things? I mean, Netflix has been crazy. HBO did the first, change the game. They put movies on TV. Big blockbuster movies that were going to come out in the movie theater because of COVID. They made a big transition and put it on television, which I kind of like because you can do whatever you want.
Yep.
At time. So is there anything you look forward to? Anything you saw so far that you're disappointed by? Spit it out. Let's go.
All right. I'm looking right now. I saw something that's being released in Prime, but while you guys are talking, I'm going to look for it because this is one movie I definitely want to check out.
Well, let's talk about the big one. Let's talk about Wonder Woman, the sequel. That was a big one. That was the first one that came out on HBO. Were you disappointed by that compared to the first one, or was it a good kind of segue into that?
Wonder Woman was terrible.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was terrible.
And the fact that it was home, so you kind of like I made a big thing of it. Like, you know, we had the kids, we had popcorn. I was like, okay. And it was just so bad. I was like, I really felt like we're giving you something at home, but we're going to give you shit. You know, it really had that feeling like, haha, suckers. You get it at home.
So give me one that sucked. We'll talk about the Wonder Woman. Everybody agrees that it sucked. I kind of like that I didn't pay for it in the movie theaters, right? So I let that one go. Right. Give me one good one that you're looking forward to. Give me one that surprised you, that you were like, oh, wow, it was actually a good movie. And one you just enjoyed.
I got two that sucked because I was really Wonder Woman was one that was like, okay, I had high hopes for it, but man, Coming to America 2, I thought that was going to be a lot better than what it was.
You didn't expect anything. You really expected, like,
I expected it. I mean, after his performance in Dolomite, when he made me feel that Dolomite character,
he was good.
I thought he can come back and make me feel Prince Hakeem again, right? But I was like, man, you know, it's like you know, out of all the females to sleep with, to get pregnant, you slept with that one. You know?
All right.
You know, you had the sister, but you still slept with this one. You know, I mean, the movie was good, but it was just I expected a little bit more. So that was one of my not good movies in this summer.
I wasn't disappointed with that one. I appreciate it because they gave shout outs to everybody, right? Yeah. Like they did throwbacks, and that was the thing. Like as a black man, it's nice to give knowledge, give shout outs and homage to the past, all the big groups back then, the people that came and gone. You know, it was just nice to see them all on the screen again. So that's what I loved about it. I didn't put too much into it. It didn't disappoint me. I'll say that. Yeah. It wasn't like I was, oh my God, but it didn't disappoint me until like, all right, this is what it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to blow me away. Yeah. But what I tell you, Godzilla, that was a shocker for me. That was actually really a good, you know how many Godzilla movies they've made since we've been on this planet? Mm-hmm. 20 million versions of Godzilla. But the new one, that was actually surprisingly well done. Really good.
Yes. Me and Joe talked about that in our Ordinary Joe's podcast, how that movie for the summer for me, again, one of those movies where it's Godzilla versus Kong. Let's see what they do with it. But the story writing, the cinematography, I can't even say that word right. Cinematography, just, you know, them bringing you to Middle Earth. It's like, man, I feel like I want to go to Middle Earth. You know, where can I get one of these planes to Middle Earth? You know, so it's like, that movie definitely shocked me as how good it turned out to be.
I got a couple. One of the bigger disappointments was Netflix had I don't even know the name, the zombie movie that they just did.
Zombie.
It was a Zack Snyder, and it really made me hate him even more.
Justice
If you guys
League?
don't know who Zack Snyder is, he did Justice League, and I think he's just tremendously overrated because he did the zombie movie. I can't remember the name of the zombie. It just came out, and it was a big deal. It was a big production.
Let me look it up.
The story was there. It was good. The one with Vegas, where Vegas is shut down and they got to go back into Vegas to.
It was like Dawn of the Dead.
No, come on, it's a big.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry, it just came out. I just watched it the other day.
Was it just it's a Netflix original? Is that the one?
Yeah, but it was a big production. It was a big blockbuster, same kind of thing. They did even release it in theaters while they released it on Netflix. I can't even remember the name. But anyway, the story was, it was there. Like, okay, going back to Vegas, there's a whole bunch of different zombies and
is it Army of the Dead? Is that the one?
Army of the Dead.
Yeah, Army of the Dead.
Yeah. So, and then they just completely lost me. Like, I mean, it was just really bad script, hokey. And then he does this thing with the the focus of his his camera work, where it's like, they had it was like really out of focus, and then bokeh like certain characters, like it was just so much that's taken away from the movie. So anyway, that was a big disappointment, because I do like zombie films. I do like horror movies. I'm always, anticipate those things. As far as anticipating this summer, there's two. We got the new the Black Widow one coming in early July. So I'm looking forward to that. Big fan of the Marvel MCU. Loving what they're doing with Loki right now.
Yes.
So that's just going to set me up even more for that. So I'm looking forward to that. The other one is there's a film. It's actually out now, and I haven't seen it, but I was looking forward to it since they talked about it coming out, and then COVID pushed it. It's A Quiet Place 2. I don't know if you guys are familiar with A Quiet Place 1, but I really liked it. I like the one kind of caught me off guard, and then I really enjoyed it. And then when they announced that they were going to have the second one, that I think the intention was to put it out pretty quickly, but then COVID happened. So they had this movie and they just sat on it the whole time. So, I would have loved to have watched it during COVID, because I was really looking forward to it, and they just kept pushing it back, and they finally put it out recently. So that's currently in the theaters now, and it's something I want to check out. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Now, piggybacking off what you just said, sorry, Ro. The movie that I'm looking for and I can't find is exactly what you just mentioned with Quiet Place 2, and it's supposed to be released on Prime Videos, and I can't find the name of the movie, but it's supposed to be within that, Quiet Place. What's that movie that where what's the name was in Cloverfield? It's supposed to be within that same genre of movie. So it's coming out on Prime, but I can't find what it was. I just saw the commercial this morning, and I'm like, this looks good. I can't wait for this one to come out.
There is one on Prime coming out with the Future War or whatever with Chris Pratt. That comes out, I believe, next
I think that's
week.
The one. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. But they have,
which it looks really good.
They have that Cloverfield type monsters in there. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think it's called Future War. I'll actually tell you right.
Yeah, it's not even popping up on Prime.
But it comes out, I think, next week.
Yes.
It's called The Tomorrow War.
Tomorrow, yeah. That one I can't wait for.
Yeah, The Tomorrow War.
That one I can't wait for. I mean, I can't wait for that to pop up and come out. What about you, Ro? What do you got?
So Mortal Kombat was disappointing for me as well. I just think,
which I happen to like. I will go on record. I know how you guys feel, but I go on record. I
hate it.
I enjoy
but
it.
They made the movie before, right? So there's things you can take and add, and just make it like whole. And the only thing I guess I didn't like is that they never did the tournament.
Yeah, they never had the combat.
Well, that's the thing with all these movies. I just watched one the other day. I can't remember. It was actually a good one. It's called Monster Hunter with the girl. I forget her name. She does the Resident Evil movies.
Mia Jovovich?
Movie.
Yeah.
So she has this new movie. It was another one I had read about. Was waiting for it to come out. It came out, and then quietly was on Stars. So I watched it, and I like big production. I like monster movies. But then they did the same thing where it gets to the end, and then, all right, they're already setting up future films. And that was the thing with Mortal Kombat. Rather than getting in the movie, you're going to set up future films. And I think that movie studios and all that, they kind of take us fans as, for suckers. Like, oh, don't worry, they'll come back and watch the other ones, and they'll pay. And they don't realize, this loses them. There's going to be people that are mad. Like, I was looking for the tournament in Mortal Kombat. Now you're going to make me watch 3 more movies? F you.
What sucks, though, if the movie doesn't do well, then they don't even make someone. So exactly. So, I just wasted 2.5 hours of my life that I'm never going to finish it because people watch it.
Yeah.
You know what it is? And I'll tell you guys right now. I'll tell you, I brought this up to Joe. What it is for the past 4, 5, 6 years, we've been spoiled with the way Marvel's been writing their shows. From Endgame to Iron Man, and now to these Disney Plus series.
Yeah.
The way they've been writing it leaves us to like, oh, I want to know what's going on next week. Oh, I can't wait for this next week. So they kind of put people on a pedestal to where we watch something like Mortal Kombat thinking it's going to be, you know, Marvel good.
That's a good point.
And then when we get there, we're like, what? And they were doing exactly what Marvel's doing, teasing us for the next one with a poster of Johnny Cage. But we're just like, yeah.
But what they're missing is the Marvel movies and shows are good. They're pouring a lot into the story. They're pouring a lot into the acting. You can't just rush something out and then and follow that same business model, and that's the problem.
Yeah. And they even tried to get a big name, you know, the guy who played Sub-Zero. They tried to get a big, not Sub-Zero, Scorpion, the Japanese character. Try to get him on there, and it's like, dude, you only had him for like a total of like 5 minutes, maybe even less.
Right.
Saying like, I love the beginning of the movie. I was like, done some character build up, great. And then I'm like, the characters, and you know what I loved about Yui and recently what you've been doing with your own podcast and interviewing, is that you're talking about the Asian culture and doing better movies and putting people out there, just not throwing names because so and so was in this and so that. Like making a quality movie with good quality actors. Not because that's a hot movie, you know. It's like, give me something that I will watch. What's the one on HBO? It's about Bruce Lee's earlier life coming to
the dragon.
That's
the warrior. The warrior. Yeah.
The Warrior. That's an amazing series. And I was like, why aren't more of these guys? Why am I not seeing them more on the big screen? Or in these films? And then you got the guy who did the big blockbuster Asian movie. They picked him now for one of the new movies of Snake Eyes. And I was like, really? He's doing Snake Eyes? I was like, I'm not saying he's a bad actor, pretty face, but like, where's the talent? Like, because that's honestly, G.I. Joe, they went all over the place with it. For us, the kids that love G.I. Joe, there's so many things you can do. Transformers, all that series, they did 2 movies that they got it, and the one with the yellow, what's the yellow?
Bumblebee.
Yeah,
Bumblebee was great. Bumblebee was a great.
I never even watched Bumblebee because I was so turned off from where they went with Transformers.
No. You want to get on board? Watch Bumblebee. They did a great reboot, and it was perfectly done. I was like, thank you. And again, they find it every now and then it's just crazy. It's like, oh, we're making how much money? We can throw everything out. I mean, X-Men did the same thing. Like, we just keep on throwing garbage out. We got Wolverine. It's fine.
Yeah.
The second Wolverine, that comic book I bought as a kid when he goes to Japan, that's one of the best comic books that they treated like trash. They destroyed that whole, like, it was so awful. So awful. And ruined all of Logan's character that they had to make so dark the next one because they destroyed the second one. So I don't know. I think it's a huge opportunity to really see some amazing acting and really good storytelling, but you just got to find the right people that are really gonna.
Maybe Hollywood's always had that problem, and so maybe they'll start watching our podcast or listening to our podcast and getting feedback from the people who matter, the people who are the fans and watch this. So that's why we do this. So Woken Up Woke, the Ordinary Joes. Check us out, Hollywood.
We'll
give you some feedback.
Round the show out. Last question: Fast 9. Are you guys in or out?
It's all about family.
I'm really looking forward to the meme that I saw, the Fast and Furious Jurassic Park crossover. When they do that, I'm in.
Yes.
Let's go. Cars, dinosaurs. Let's go. Balls of
We have to drive faster than this T-Rex, guys.
For family.
Give me some nitrous.
Those velociraptors are family.
Listen, I'm not going to hate. You know what they're probably going to do? They're going to probably make a dinosaur that has a motor in it.
My God.
Wheels.
My God. They might as well play this song in the background while they're at it, too.
I'll watch it.
They made 60, what is it, crazy amount, 600 million the first week.
The franchise is like in the billions, ridiculously.
But I'm just saying in Japan, and then now here, like, yeah, people don't care.
You know why, dude? We're committed. Well, you watch 8 already, and now they're coming out with a 9. You're bringing in John Cena, and he's a Toretto. You're like, oh shit! Now they're bringing in John Cena, and he's a Toretto. You know, they're bringing Mia back.
Oh, I get John Cena now?
Yeah, you get John Cena. You know, you got John Cena. He's coming in, and you're bringing Mia back. So I want to know the storyline. 2 storylines I want to figure out. Okay, you're bringing John Cena in.
There's a storyline.
What's his name is coming back, right? Han's coming back. How is he alive after he supposedly died? And then what did Mia do with what's Paul Walker's name? Can't forget what his name is. But where is he at now? Is he gone? Is he dead? I mean, you just left him at home with the kids. What's going on? You know, so
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter as long as you're fast and furious. Okay,
they got to add that last F. Say that again.
I'm waiting for them to kill off Tyrese.
Oh, man. They should have killed him off.
They can't. They can't just because of how it looks.
Yeah, and you know,
there's a black man with child support problems and all that. You can't kill him.
Yeah. You can't kill him.
Do you know the shit we'll get?
They should have killed him off when him and The Rock went at it over child support money. You know, Jesus Christ.
I'm telling you, man. I used to follow him, and then I just watched him go crazy, and I was like, okay, yeah, you're a crazy individual. Luda's great. Luda's the only one who's good.
Yeah. I love Ludacris. Love having him on there. Yeah. He's one of those characters where you don't think he's gonna do what he's doing, and then he's the genius behind all the text that they have. So it's like he's perfect for that role. Tyrese, he's just, you know, he's like Kevin Hart on steroids. He just likes to whine and scream about every little thing, you know.
And not funny. Yeah.
Not funny. It's like it's almost real. Like I think he's really whining about this. They don't even give him any lines. They're just like, just go out there and complain about your day.
Last thing, Top Gun 2 is coming out.
Maverick, yep.
And that's 2021. And then I want to see Spiral with Chris Rock. The kind of new look. I just can't justify paying $20.
No.
It's almost on Prime.
Yeah.
I think you can do something like the early rental.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
If I can get it for $10 or get a friend to go half of me. But otherwise, I can't do $20 for you, Chris. I love you though. I'll go see your show. I'll give you $50 for your show, but I can't give you $20. I'm
not big on glorified killers. That's my thing. You know, Saw, Jigsaw, and now Spiral. The same group, same. Is it? What's his name? That Asian director. Is he directing this one, or I forget what his name is.
James Wan.
Yeah, James Wan. The one.
He's good. I don't know if he's doing that though.
I don't think I think he's done with after he did Saw 1 and 2. I think he was done. But no, I can't. I mean, just like Fast and Furious, what are they gonna do? I mean, you know, it's
supposed to be a comedic version of Spiral
of Jigsaw. I mean, Chris Tucker's gonna put his hand in the jar. There's gonna be a saw in there, and the only way he can get out is to cut his arm out. I mean, I see it coming already.
Yeah, I mean, and then what are you gonna do? Top Gun. No one flies planes anymore in combat, so
that would be good. Like them all behind, like like the joystick and flying drones. That's the only way it could be real too.
I want to watch it. So I just want to see it because of where they're putting the camera angles. Like they put the GoPro right in the cockpit, and you can see them actually really flying the plane. That's the only reason why I want to watch it. One, you know, I'm an '80s guy. Grew up in the '80s. What happened to Maverick? You know, 40-something years. Where'd you go? What happened? And you know.
And do they do another volleyball scene? I think they should. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen Kilmer? They ain't doing it.
I know he ain't doing it, but throw him in there. Throw volleyball at his face. Let's see what happens.
Throw him in there. Why not, man? It's like, you know.
Wasted talent, man. That guy.
That's definitely for a different podcast. Like all the stuff that he did and.
Oh
yeah,
that hurts. That one hurts.
He's one of my favorite Batmans. Loved him in Heat.
Really?
Yeah, he's one of my favorite Batmans.
Tombstone is hands down one of the best
my God, yeah,
films ever.
Yeah, Tombstone is definitely the best one he's done.
Oh, he's
Probably his best. Yeah.
That was unreal.
Do you know that line that he does, that "I'll be your Huckleberry," that wasn't even part of the script?
Yeah.
That wasn't. Yeah, he just threw that in just to throw it in, and it lived. And that's all we ever say now. Whenever I'll be your Huckleberry.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Say at work. You guys.
No.
I say it at work a lot.
I can't say it at work because I'll have HR coming down on my. I get an email. Something about
what
a Huckleberry.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
What's that mean?
I don't know. They'll find something wrong with it.
They'll find. Yeah.
Till then, I'm gonna keep saying it.
Yeah. Till then. All right, guys. You know what? This has been fun. Chopping it up with the Woken Up Woke. Missing one Woken Up Woke. I threw him a text to see if he was willing to jump on, but he can't. We will definitely have Joe back on the show. Hopefully soon, depending on how things go with him. But man, Ev, Ro, thank you guys. This has been fun. It's been entertaining, and we definitely got to do this again. I mean, definitely got to do this again. I'm down for another episode. If you guys want to come up with another episode, talk about another episode, let's definitely talk
Maybe
about
we go into Filmer's life.
Hey,
Well, let us know. You, the fans, the listeners, anybody who watches this and you listen to it, give us some feedback. Send us, let Eric know. Send us a message.
Yeah.
Do you want to see this again? Did you enjoy it? What didn't you like? Is my shirt too loud? No. Let us know.
No, your shirt, man.
Don't hold back.
This whole time I've been watching, I've been trying to see when the colors in your light matches your shirt. And I think I only counted like 3 or 4 times that the color of the light actually matched some of the colors of your shirt, which is kind of cool.
By design. I actually have a remote for the shirt so I can change the colors of the shirt too. So
nice.
Stay tuned for that.
Nice. Yes. Following up what Ev said, you guys reach us on the Ordinary Joe's podcast at gmail.com. We're also on the Ordinary Joe's on Instagram. Woken Up Woke is also on Instagram. Woken Up Woke. You can find them on Instagram as well. Definitely tag them when we do the when I do all the editing and all that stuff. But man, thank you guys for jumping on. Thank you guys for taking the next step with Joe, and hopefully by the next time the complete Ordinary Joes and the Woken Up Woke will be here. And if there's something you guys want to talk about, something you guys want to bring up, if you guys want to bring up anything, I'm open-minded to pretty much everything. I'm down for that. So you guys bring it up. And then if you guys want to do it again next week, you guys know where to find me.
All right, brother.
This was fun.
All right, guys. God, I don't even know how to end this. Like, I'm usually looking at Joe, and Joe's like, nah, it's been fun. Thank you guys for watching the Ordinary Joes and the Woken Up Woke. See ya.
Recording stopped.
Wow.